Good morning, class 7. From today onwards, we are going to start with your EVS syllabus as well. So, we will begin with chapter 2, that is sources of water. In environmental studies, you are going to write the new terms in your notebook and please do learn them. Water is a vital resource to man. It is used for a variety of purposes like irrigation, industry, etc. Apart from the requirement of man, it is a key factor in maintaining the ecological balance. It is the base of all life that exists on the surface of the earth. We all know that the importance of water. It is used for almost all the work we do, like for eating, for cooking, for washing, for irrigation, in industry, and you can count innumerable things in which we need water. It is the most important thing for the ecological balance. Ecological balance, it means that when there is you can say like balance, you understand, that is maintaining the equilibrium. So here we will talk about the organisms with the environment. So that is like we have to maintain the balance in the environment for the existence, for the survival. It is available in abundance, yet it remains limited for man. The oceans are big storehouse of water, but it cannot be used by man because of its salinity. Man can make use of fresh water only which is not evenly distributed one over the surface of the earth. So we know that we have lot of water in ocean, in sea, but then that water is saline. It has salt content in it, so it cannot be used for all the purpose, right? Then let's talk about the sources of water. Broadly, there are two types of water sources: freshwater source and marine water sources. Freshwater sources include rain, snow, lake, well, and river, while ocean is a source of marine water. Man uses mainly the fresh water. First is rain. Rainfall is type of precipitation. It is the most important source of fresh water because it supplies water to all the other sources of water. It has the capacity to change the climate of any area. You can understand it when the rainfall takes place, it it changes the climate of that particular area because of the rainfall, greenery will be there. If rainfall is not there, then it can be deserted, it becomes desert. So it has lot of impact on the climate. Then rainfall is important because it supplies water to the water sources. Process of rainfall begins with the evaporation. The heat of sun changes the liquid water into gaseous form, that is water vapors. This process of rainfall does not involve any other matter. The raindrops are formed directly from the water vapors. Therefore, the water that falls is fresh water and devoid of any impurity. However, the initial raindrops collect some dust or other impurities while falling down. So, when rainfall takes place, whatever impurities are there in the atmosphere, initial drops do absorb them, but the later ones, they are very clean and it is very pure. Capacity of air to hold water vapor increases when the air is heated and decreases when the air is cooled. When the air is sufficiently cold and does not have the capacity to hold any more moisture, it is called saturated air. When saturated air is cooled further, the excess amount of moisture condenses and deposits on some surface like grass, blades, plant leaves, etc., in the form of dew. The temperature at which the dew formation begins is called dew point. Now, you can understand that if you take a cotton ball and dip it in the water, you will see that at one point of time it will absorb water, but then after that the water will start dripping from it. Same ways, when the water is there in the air, it absorbs the water, but after some time the saturation level, that is like when the limit has been crossed, now when it cannot be absorbed, it falls in form of rain. So the water water vapors, the capacity to air water vapor increase when the air is heated. Like when the air is hot, it will absorb more, when it is cold it will absorb less. And that is you can see early in the morning, if you get up, you will see that the excess water, it can be seen on the grass blades, which we call as dew, right? So this process of rainfall does not involve any other matter. The raindrops are formed directly from the water vapors. Therefore, the water that falls is fresh water and devoid of any impurity. This is what we have just discussed. However, the initial raindrops collect some dust or other impurities while falling down. Polluted rain is called acid rain. It is a type of air pollution. It occurs when oxides of sulfur and nitrogen combine with the moisture of atmosphere. It leads to the formation of sulfuric and nitric acids. This acid is brought down by the rainfall. When it reaches the earth, it brings damage like reducing soil fertility, destroying plant life, spoiling freshwater lakes and its biotic life, etc. So, the rain becomes polluted, it becomes acidic when the oxides of sulfur and nitrogen combine with the moisture which is present in the atmosphere. And obviously, acidic rain is dangerous. It is very harmful for the biotic life, for the freshwater lakes and all. Now, measurement of rainfall. Rainfall is expressed in volume. It is estimated as what could be the depth of rainwater on a flat surface. It is measured in an instrument called rain gauge. The depth of rainwater is measured in millimeter. When it is below 2.5 mm, it is called light rain, and when it is above 7.5, it is called heavy rain. So you can see the measurements, and according to the measurement, we can say that the area had a light rain or it had a heavy rainfall. The diameter of raindrop varies from 0.5 to 0.8 mm. You can see it when the rainfall takes place, that the droplets, the size of the droplets, it varies. Rainwater on reaching the earth is either absorbed and becomes runoff water to join the nearest stream or river. Water absorbed by the land slowly leaches down to join the underground water. Okay. So when the rainfall takes place, some water is absorbed by the underground water. That is very important. Otherwise, it becomes runoff, like it flows and it joins the lakes and the river, which which later on becomes a part of the sea. Some parts of it is absorbed by the plant. The runoff water joins some bodies like lake, pond, stream and river. The flowing water in the form of ultimately joins the sea, which is the last place to reach for it. Now, efforts are on to make artificial rainfall. A few attempts have already been made with little success. Research is being conducted and promises are expected, like their promising results are expected. So there are scientists who are trying to make artificial rainfall, and they are making several efforts, and the research is conducted, and it is promising results are expected, that after some time maybe they will be successful in creating artificial rainfall. Now, Distribution of rainfall. Distribution of rainfall involves two aspects, time and space. Cases the rainfall is not evenly distributed over Earth. Distribution with time. On the basis of time, rainfall is mainly concentrated in 4 rainy season in India. Around 80% of annual rainfall is concentrated in the 4 months, that is June, July, August and September. These 4 months are known as Chaumasa. Because of improper distribution of rain, water shortage is there in the remaining months. Dams and reservoirs are needed to enlarge the volume of water. So 4 months when we get rain is June, July, August and September. They are known as, because they are 4, that's why they are known as Chaumasa. And then distribution, this is the distribution with time. Distribution with space. On the basis of space, rainfall is concentrated in some parts while some parts remain dry. Areas that receive large amount of rain is the problem of flat and marshy lands. Like example, equatorial areas. Areas receive little rainfall face drought conditions. Example, all the deserts of the world. Areas that receive moderate rainfall are few and attract huge population, that is India, Indian subcontinent, Europe, etc. So there are places which is receive lot of rainfall. So that is the like example equatorial area. Then we have areas where no rainfall is there, that is the desert areas of the world. Then we have areas where there is moderate rainfall, most of the parts of Indian subcontinent and Europe. So obviously population is dense at these places. Then snow. Snow is the transparent crystal of ice. Process of snowfall is almost similar to rainfall. At the time of precipitation, if the temperature is above 0 degree, raindrops are formed, and if temperature is below 0 degrees, snowflakes are formed. So you can see that at the time of precipitation, if the temperature is like above 0 degree, then raindrops will be formed, and if temperature is below, then snowflakes are formed. When ice crystals are formed, they cling to each other to form snowflakes. Size of snowflakes is normally 2 to 3 centimeters, but in rare cases it may become 7 to 10 centimeters in diameter. Snowfall is measured by its depth in centimeter. It is also measured as depth of water that would result if snow melts. Normally 25 to 30 centimeters of snow would make 2.5 centimeters of rainfall. Sometimes snowfall is accompanied with rain. It is called sleet. When snowfall and rain, both these things takes place simultaneously, it is known as sleet. After reaching the ground, the snow melts and feeds water to the river. It is extremely cold areas. The snow after falling down doesn't melt but accumulates. Large accumulation of snow forms the glaciers, which is a big solid mass of ice. Major areas of glaciers are North Pole, South Pole and all the mountain system. So what happens if the snow falls at area on the ground and it melts, it joins the river or increase the water, feeds the river. But if falls in a cold area, it does not melt and it accumulates, and that gradually becomes the glacier. Major glaciers could be found in North Pole, South Pole and the mountainous systems. Glaciers are storehouse of fresh water. Most of the river of the world originate from the glaciers. River Ganga of India originates from the Gangotri Glacier. Now, Greenland is the largest island that remains covered with glacial blanket that of 1.8 million square kilometers in area and more than 2,700 meters thick. This huge glacier grows outward from the center. On the edges, it breaks into huge pieces in the form of icebergs that float in the Atlantic Ocean. So when the sides of these glaciers, they break and start moving in the, flow in the oceans, then it is known as iceberg. Distribution of snowfall. Snowfall is uniformly distributed over Earth. It also varies with time and space like rainfall. It occurs only during cold month or winter season, example in Canada, USA, Europe, etc. Some parts of Earth, like tropical areas, do not receive any snowfall even during winter season, because even in the winter season the temperature does not fall below freezing point. So obviously when the temperature will not fall below freezing point, then snowfall will not take place. Some areas do not have any summer season like polar areas. They receive snowfall throughout the year. So the polar areas do not have the summer season at all. So that is all for today, class. We will continue in the next class. Please do revise, write the new terms. Exercises are supposed to be done in your notebook. Take care, be safe at home. Thank you.